roll.
Mayor Falkenberry.
Here.
Alderman Piper.
Present.
Alderman Brown.
Here.
Alderman Gilbert.
Here.
Alderman Sedlak.
Here.
Alderman McPherson.
Here.
Alderman King.
Here. All right, everybody's here. Everybody stand up. Chad, you lead, Fred lead.
Yes, sir. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody stay standing. I'll lead in prayer. Dear Lord, thank you now gathering us tonight. Be with everybody tonight. Be with our citizens. Be with our employees. Be with our firefighters and our police officers. Keep everybody safe and everybody out of harm's way. And be with the ones that may need you in their household or be in their heart, dear Lord. Anybody that may be sick or ill. Just be with everybody here to give us the knowledge that we need to make our town better in what it needs. We cannot do this without you on our side. Dear Lord, amen.
Amen.
Sneak. Alright, everybody had a chance, I guess, look over everything. Don't look over the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Got a motion, I have a second to adopt the agenda. Got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda adopted. Does everybody look over the minutes? Y'all got any questions over the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Have a motion, I have a second.
I'll second
All in favor?
it. Aye.
All opposed? Anybody here to speak, citizen input from the town here to speak? Raise your hand, tell us what you're here for,
Please.
your name.
My name is Fred LeCount. Should I stand or?
No,
You don't have to. you-
Oh, okay.
whatever.
What's your address, Mr. Fred?
My name is Fred LeCount. I live at 151 Olivia Circle in River Forest, Chapel Hill. And I'm here to talk about our particular community at River Forest. I understand that there's an ordinance on the books that cars are not supposed to be parked in the street between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. in the morning. And the reason I bring that up is because there are cars parked, and they park one on this side of the street, one on the other side of the street, so that they're kind of next to each other. And I gotta tell you, our streets are so small that it's almost impossible to get that third car through. You just have to squeak through. So the concern is this, from a standpoint of the safety of the community, if there were a house to catch fire, you're not gonna get a fire truck down that street. And those people will be in a pretty bad situation. So I was concerned about that, and I brought it up. We have a Facebook group, and I brought it up, and there was some discussion. Anybody here from, are you? Good, thank you for coming. So we have that concern, and I called the police department. I wanted to inquire why that ordinance is not being enforced, where I guess they could give them a ticket for parking on the street, or they could even have them towed, their vehicle towed away. And I was told from the police department that somewhere in amongst y'all, they've been ordered not to enforce that code. So I'm here, I don't know who it is or who I'm talking to, but I'm asking only by myself. I'm not representing the whole community, but I have this concern, and I would like to see that code be enforced. And I'm gonna add a caveat to that. We are blessed to have a number of law enforcement officers who live in our community, and park their vehicles outside. And I'm grateful for that because it's an obvious deterrent to criminals coming in our neighborhood and, committing crimes and vandalism and so on. But I'm here to ask, please, that y'all let the police department know it's okay and encourage them to enforce that code. Maybe initially you could start with a warning, because I don't wanna bring my neighbors, you know, I don't wanna make enemies in my own neighborhood. But on the other hand, I am concerned for the safety of the community itself.
Does your neighborhood have a POA or HOA?
Pardon me, sir?
Does your neighborhood have, you have an HOA?
Yes.
Have you addressed through your president or representative of the HOA?
I can speak on that, I'm the HOA president.
Hey, wonderful.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
We are not allowed to enforce the rules because the street is governed by the city.
Okay, that's
So
right,
it's
that's
the
right.
city jurisdiction code. We can only enforce on the lots, so amount of cars in the driveway we can enforce, but we can't enforce on the
Can
street.
you state your name, please, ma'am?
My name is Marissa Cali,
And your address?
139 Olivia Circle,
Spell your last name, please, ma'am.
C-A-L-I,
C-A-L-I.
M-A-R-I-S-A.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mhm.
You have spoken
Yeah,
with,
we met with you
Me,
and
yeah.
Chief Con back in
A
September.
letter went out in November,
Yes.
correct? That
Yes.
the HOA sent out to all the residents,
Mhm.
and at that point, it was noted that it would be against the ordinance to park on the streets. I think at that time, there was kind of a grace period given as far as, okay, citations given for warnings, if you will. Chief, you may want to address this, if
That's fine.
your guys.
So we have given a letter out, like we sent it to all the residents, but more recently, when we got your complaint, we started putting letters on the cars themselves, because we didn't wanna start issuing tickets right off the bat as well. And so we are trying to give them that grace period. We've tried to mark some areas, I think, as fire lanes as well. I know that the town has done that part, and we will go into enforcement, but we really didn't want to have to do that until we got a chance to do that. And we have noticed that it's gotten better in that neighborhood.
I was gonna make that comment.
Okay, so it is
Since we
working,
started
it's
the
just, we took
discussion-
a different approach, we didn't start writing tickets, we started putting the letter out there first.
Right.
And then, if we have to from this point forward, we will issue tickets.
That's well handled, thank you.
We try.
Yeah.
So is it no parking on the street at all, or only parking on one side of the
There is
street?
no parking on any street in Chapel Hill between 1 AM and 5 AM. Now, we haven't enforced this in the Spring Creek neighborhood because the city doesn't own those roads yet, they're still under the contractor. So we just got their roads turned over once their bond was released. And same thing, a letter will go out to that neighborhood once we take over, enforcement. But right now, we don't have that, so, but we will start enforcing in your neighborhood. We just try to do it in a neighborly way by putting letters on their windshields. And we have noticed that it seems to be getting better.
We appreciate it, thank you.
Those driveways aren't very big.
We're not.
I mean, would it work if people parked on one side of the street only and that's it? Like if they had company or,
I,
I mean, sometimes
Well-
somebody's
I
gonna
can
have.
comment on that.
usually it's not gonna be between, unless they're spending the night, you know, that 1 to 5.
Yeah,
We,
I suggested parking on one side of the street and it wasn't too well received,
no.
so.
What you got?
Yeah, to address the comment on parking, similar to what he said, we've discussed it in the Facebook group and there's not a hugely positive reason for wanting to do that, because if, you know, people are like, well, if it's my side, I wouldn't want that.
yeah.
And so
makes
that
sense.
applies to pretty
Yeah.
much every homeowner. I think the main issue is that getting through at, even in the middle of the day, it's a problem, but usually people are gone for the day, so you don't notice it until the nighttime, like 5 or 6 when everyone's home, and, but we do have the homes, the 2-car garage plus the 2 cars in the driveway, that's 4 cars, that's what it's allotted for, and that's what it passed code, so we can't really enforce further than that.
Let me ask y'all this one, this letter being sent out, so we're looking at 3 months, going on 3 months. Is that a efficient long enough at the mark, maybe we start giving out tickets, or what do y'all think? What's y'all's thought on that?
We can start enforcing that way, but giving them plenty of opportunity and not now
Yeah,
the second
yes.
set of letters.
I think so too, if they got letters, we're working on 3 months since the letters been put out. So I'd like to see, go ahead and start enforcing that, if everybody's okay with that. It's up to the board, but I think 3 months is plenty.
Put them in enforce the law.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Any other questions for anything else? We can move forward. All right, having none, thank y'all, appreciate it. Only thing I gotta say is, I guess we just go ahead and move forward. I ain't got a lot of reports going over. I missed the work section. So I guess we'll go on to the police and fire. Y'all got any questions over the reports on that? Have y'all been over the police and fire financial?
Yep.
Reports? Y'all got any questions y'all need to ask them? Are y'all happy with it? Ben?
I'm satisfied, sir.
Good. All right, having none, we go to Danny.
Yeah, we got a couple things, we are down to, I think, 1 meter before we have everything, all the new meters installed on the water system, and that is, if I remember correctly, the one out at the elementary school, Dale Kenson, and we're probably gonna wait till spring break to do that one, so that it's not disrupting service or anything like that, so we kind of planned that out. But it seems to be falling in line pretty well with what we thought. The meters seem to be working pretty well. We are catching some, leaks as they occur rather than a bill later, so that's kind of good news, and it'll help our citizens on that. So I'm pleased so far how that's going. We're still going through a training phase, software and all that, getting all that changed over, but, so far it seems to work pretty well, and I'm sure we'll have a few hiccups, but other than that, the meters are pretty well in place. We'll have that done. I know several of you probably know or knew Miss Purdom, Carol Purdom. I'll bring this up to the board's attention. She passed last week. It was her funeral, and she was the recorder here for roughly 22 years. So quite a remarkable lady. I know when I've gone back and researched some of the documents and resolutions and so forth that has to be signed, I see her signature on quite a few of them. I know that she served the town well, and had an opportunity to meet one of her relatives and discuss her a bit, got to learn a little bit about her. So I just wanted to let you know, really appreciate people like that that are willing to serve and to do the job like that. And she was recorder for 22 years, and the town will be making a donation to a memorial. I think it's a hospice care that she'd like a donation to go to. So on behalf of the board, we'll make a donation to that. That's pretty much all I have right now. All right.
Thank you, Dan. All right, let's see, old business, we have none. New business, A, this is approve the bill of sale for Marshall County Board of Public Utilities and Highway 31A project. And we need to sign it, so what is that?
Well, that is our portion that is coming due that we have to pay on the project that, the board agreed to several years ago regarding the pipeline coming across or underneath the river. They have looked at it, Todd's looked at it, the bill of sale, is basically where they're, saying they've sold that piece of the pipe, if you will, to us, and with a meter location and all, and it's identified. So that is a resolution that it's recommended that we, that you sign it and that the board passes it. That's in the sum of a little over 1.7.
It doesn't have to be a resolution,
Okay.
just an approval
Approval
of him
of-
signing.
Bill of sale. That ended up, I think, if you remember, the original was up to 1.8 million for that project, and I think it came in under that, so.
Now, that's completely done, completed, right?
As far as I know, there's nothing on our end that needs to be done. Chad, if there's anything in Marshall
Anything,
County.
Chad?
It is completed. I mean, we've got a few service line situations on our end, but the main line itself is done.
I think it'd be a good time to negotiate a 15-cent rate decrease maybe before we sign it. What do you think, Chad?
I think, I think that would be great, you know. Any negotiations is great. We're all ears.
What about resolutions then? We like to have peaceful resolutions when we negotiate.
We can take a look at it, we can take a look at it. Now, the contract is done, and I think it did come a little, just a smudge under, what it estimated. You know, our ladies in office worked very hard to make sure that we give y'all every piece of information that you've asked for. We'll be happy to give you any more. If you sign it or if you don't, doesn't make any difference, you know, we're trying to be as transparent as possible, so
And that county drilling and-
whatever you need.
Alright,
Make the motion to get it accomplished.
So, with Alderman Sedlak's motion, I do have a question. He beat me to the punch.
We need a second.
What is the, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna call roll, I think there's a lot of money involved.
Well, I'm gonna second, Alderman Sedlak's motion. The question I have is there a minimum that we have to pay, or is it all the 1.8?
It's 1.7.
1.7, so there's
Something.
no minimum that we'll pay.
Yeah, I mean,
That
that's
is
it. That's
bottom
our
line.
portion of it, what the costs, the true costs were according to the
Not
invoices.
to exceed 1.8 is what it said.
So that was where we came in at.
So if it went over, we would have only had to pay 1.8.
Okay. Thank you for clarification.
So did I get a motion on that?
Yep.
He made the motion, I second.
You second? I'm gonna call roll on it.
Alderman Piper,
Yes.
Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Alderman Gilbert,
Yes.
Alderman Sedlak, Alderman Pearson,
Yes.
Alderman King.
Yes. Any other discussion? Having none, any closing remarks? Having none, is this meeting adjourned? Do I have a motion?
Entertain a motion to adjourn, sir.
Do I have a second for motion? Meeting adjourned.